Why are you looking at me like that, man?
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, it has already almost been a month since you came along with me on my journey to go pick up this Chrysler 300 SRT8 off Facebook Marketplace. And I've been keeping you guys updated from day one about this car. Whether it was reports from the mechanic, showing you guys the window tints or future modifications, so on and so forth. You guys have been with me since the beginning, going through this journey with me on this Facebook Marketplace find or project, whatever you want to call it. However, now that it's approaching a month, I've been living with this thing now and I've been daily driving it here and there, and I've kind of come up with a list of 5 things that I hate or strongly dislike about this car now that I've owned it for a little bit. Now, there's some things that are very small, there's other things that are a little bit bigger, there's some things I could change, and there's some things that I can't change. So that's what I'm gonna be talking about in this video today. Let's go to the garage and give this baby a nice little cold start, huh?
You know, one thing I noticed too about having a car with these HIDs, upon first turning it on, before they warm up, it almost gives like a blue tint. Pretty cool. Why the weather's got to be so crappy lately, man. I'm just tired of it. A little butt shot of the 300 though.
And even though the weather is poop outside, I'm still getting out here and getting a video for you guys. So do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel. But look at the dedication your boy's doing. So one of the first things I despise about this car is this god-awful rattling I have in my headliner between like 30 and 40 miles per hour. I'm going to play this clip for you guys here so you could hear what I'm talking about.
So as you can see, we're at about a little under 40.
So yeah, it's somewhere in this general area. When I apply pressure with my finger, it goes away. I don't know what it is. It's rattling, like I said, right between that 30, 40 mile per hour range, and it is literally driving me insane. I don't know if I'm gonna have this headliner dropped and investigated and fixed or whatever. But yeah, that's definitely number one for me. We need to get that fixed somehow, some way, because even with the radio on, I could still hear it because it's literally right above my head, and it's driving me nuts.
Speaking of Chrysler 300s, there's another one,
But that's a basic one. That ain't the SRT. That's the basic boy. That ain't that straight 8. All right, so we're parked now, so I could show you this next stuff, what I'm talking about here. Number 2 is going to be just the interior quality as a whole. Now, I know some of you guys are going to give me smoke for this. You're going to be like, oh, my man, it's a 20-year-old Chrysler. What do you expect, man? It's a 20-year-old car. You bought a used car. If you want a brand new, buy a Rolls Royce. If you want something good quality. I know you guys are going to say, but, dude, I've owned a lot of older cars, and this, like my car before this was a 2004 Lincoln Town car. It held up tremendously better than this Chrysler has. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And I know this is not just a me issue because I've seen this in other 300s. Here, this will be better for you guys. Look at this, like, waving going on this trim right here. You could see it's on this side as well as on that side. I don't know if it's from the sun, just over time. But besides that, just these, just the plastic and everything on the car as a whole, you could just tell it was very just cheap, kind of thrown together. And like I said, I understand, Chrysler's never been really known for having the most solid interiors or most luxurious, but man, some of this, like the creaking and the rattling in this car is kind of excessive. This little door, I already learned my lesson on not to open this thing because it is almost impossible to get this thing back shut. It just doesn't like to work. So I keep it closed. I don't touch it. I just leave it alone. And I pray that it stays sealed up like that and doesn't give me any issues. And I know you, like I said, the comments are going to go, dude, it's a Chrysler. What do you expect? I get it. But dude, I mean, come on. Like some of this stuff is kind of like, I wish it wasn't like this. So we got the headliner, which could be fixed. We got the cheap interior, which we kind of just got to deal with. Whatever. No big deal. Now, number 3 on this list is, you guys might disagree with me on this, and that's fine. But I want to comment on kind of like the lack of the SRT8 badging on this car. And I understand what you guys are going to say about how this is the Chrysler 300. It's supposed to be like a sleeper and all that. I get that. But I'm saying on the interior alone even, I think there's ways that it could have been improved. Obviously, we have the SRT8 on the gauges, which looks nice. It's a nice little touch. I love them. But, I mean, the steering wheel, you got your traditional Chrysler badge just on there. When you turn the car on, you got the traditional just Chrysler badge that pops up on the head unit. Even the mats here, they're just blank black mats. I feel like a nice stitching of an SRT8 logo on the mats or just some red contrast stitching around the edges would have looked very nice. The door sill, when you first open the door, Chrysler logo. Like, it would have been so much better to me, in my opinion, if there was a nice SRT8 logo that you were greeted with as soon as you open the door. I know this is kind of little stuff I'm getting into, but like at the end of the day, if you bought this thing back in the day, this was the top of the line, the SRT8 trim. And I understand on the outside, if you kind of want it to be, you know, that stealthy Chrysler 300, but on the inside, I want to see what I paid for. You know, I want to be reminded every day when I hop in this beast, yeah, you spent the money, you got the SRT8, you got the big boy, you know what I mean? And for the outside, I don't mind it being, you know, kind of stealthy. I mean, yeah, it looks a little bit more aggressive here on the front. Plus, we got the wheels with the SRT on there. So I get it. There's little hints of it here and there letting people know what it is. And of course, on the back, you got to have the SRT8 badge, which is great. Looks very nice, but I just wish I saw more of that on the interior. I wish it was more pronounced. The funny thing is, and maybe you guys could comment and let me know this just to be sure, this was in the trunk already. This is like an SRT8 trunk mat, and according to Alex, he says that this is not stock, that this is aftermarket. Previous owner bought this. But like something like this, embroidered, why couldn't they do this from the factory? Put this in all the floor mats. I don't know. I just feel like it would have been a nice touch, a nice little reminder. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. And trust me, I know this thing is hideously dirty right now, but with this weather, I don't really feel like cleaning it. So we'll eventually get this thing detailed. Now I got the hood open for this next point. Point number 4 that we're going to make is the transmission on this car. Now, obviously, we have the beautiful 6.1 liter Hemi, over 400 horsepower as well as torque. Great engine, super strong, sounds awesome. But the 5-speed transmission that this baby's paired with, it lacks something to me. And it is a common issue or a complaint that people have about these cars, is that I really wish that there was at least one extra gear. I mean, preferably like an 8-speed would have been great. And I know at the time, you know, this is what it was. They had a 5-speed. We're going back 20 years. We got to consider that. But it just, there's so much strong power here with this engine. I really feel like this car would benefit so much more with having a transmission with more gears. It is what it is. It's not something that could be changed that I'm even thinking about trying to change, but it just, sometimes when you're driving this thing and you go to get on it and use some of that power, you could tell that, you know, that transmission it's limited by that 5-speed. And it is what it is. Maybe it was the best thing they had to offer at the time, but it's definitely one of those things that I've noticed with owning it now. I wish it could have been improved. Also, if you guys got suggestions for me, I'm trying to get rid of this air intake. I want to get like an enclosed one, like a sealed one. I was looking at Corsa. I saw they had one on their website that looked pretty solid, but let me know what you guys recommend. I also want to do a tune eventually. A lot of you guys were mentioning that Diablo tune. I've heard super great things about it, so I want to change this intake out and then slap that Diablo tune on here. See if we can get this baby kind of woken up a little bit. You know what I mean? And really quick, back to my SRT logo point, my SRT8 logo point. Like, even the key, it's got the regular Chrysler logo. Like, man, I got the key to the beast. Like, you're giving me the key to the SRT8, the big dog. Like, get me that SRT8 logo on there instead of the traditional Chrysler. You know what I mean? It's like, give me those little subtle hint reminders of like, yeah, you got that big boy. Yeah, we got the big boy. You know what I mean? Like, juice me up a little bit, man. Make me feel good about it, you know? But regardless, let's get back inside so we can talk about the 5th point on this thing. My 5th complaint, my 5th crybaby point. And I know a lot of you guys thought I was going to talk about gas mileage because that's all you guys do when you do these videos on these Hellcats, Scat Packs, everything. You guys buy these muscle cars and then you get on here. My first complaint is the gas mileage. I'm averaging 12 miles to the gallon. Dude, you're driving like 707 horsepower Hellcat. You're complaining you're averaging 10 miles to the gallon because you're ripping it 0 to 60 every chance you get? What did you expect? A Prius? I mean, come on now, get real. My fifth and final thing is this head unit, man. I originally thought this thing was a touchscreen. I honestly did. And it's not. We got my buttons here on the side to cycle through everything you need to do. There's a nav button here, which, okay, there's that. Regardless, it's dated, obviously. It's not a touchscreen. There's no Apple CarPlay. There's no Bluetooth even for like my music. It is what it is. It's definitely something. I'm giving you guys a little bit of foreshadowing here because in the future we will be swapping this out. Nice little double DIN system, maybe a little wireless CarPlay, touchscreen, something to kind of modernize this a little bit, because besides this, the interior doesn't look bad. I mean, the gauges look very nice. Like the white gauges are a nice touch, and like everything else is like fitting. I don't know, this previous owner put this goofy trim on here, which I still got to remove. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but we need to remove that. But my point is, I feel like if I swap this out, it would really kind of modernize the interior a little bit and modernize the feel. If I can come in here, connect my phone, have a little navigation, have my music playing, so on and so forth, I think it'd be great to do. So another thing, besides the cold air intake, guys, give me suggestions. Who has a solid unit, head unit, radio, a link? You could email it to me. My email is always in the description of the videos. Send me over something from Amazon that I could get to kind of replace this, something plug and play, so that we can kind of modernize this interior a little bit. But that's going to conclude everything, guys. I got my 5 points, so let's just kind of recap. The headliner issue we could fix. Interior issue is kind of like, what could you do about it? This head unit issue we could replace, so we're going to fix that. The SRT8 badging, man, obviously I could probably get some aftermarket mats in here to make myself feel better, but I don't know. It's one of those things. Let me know, and let me know in the comments what you guys think too. Am I wrong for that? The points I made. I understand keeping the, the exterior stealthy and kind of low key, but in the inside, man, let me get that feeling of owning that thing. And then my last point, of course, that 5-speed transmission. I can't fix anything with that. Maybe a tune will help me with that, kind of find that transmission a little bit more of a home and a little bit more comfortable. If I tune it, we can see what that does. But those are my 5 points, guys. I know, my 5 complaints, you will. I know you guys are going to call me a crybaby and everything else, but if you could relate at all, drop a comment. Or if you want to add something yourself about you owning one of these cars, or you own a Charger, Challenger, and you don't like this or that or the other, drop a comment. I love reading the comments. I try to keep up with all of them. So thanks again for dropping by the video. Appreciate the support as always. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.